Ladies and gentlemen, Geri Petito.
I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. And in time, this too shall pass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Geri Petito taught the class. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Loves the answer, the greener grass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. One day at a time, free at last.
When you don't know just what to do,
Just what to do, just what to do.
if what you're feeling is really true,
Is it really true? Is it really true?
just keep your ideas safe and
Safe
sound.
and sound, safe and sound.
That's exactly how change is found.
Change is found, change is found. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. And in time, this too shall pass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Geri Petito taught the class. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Loves the answer, the greener grass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. One day at a time, free at last.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Geri Petito Show on Hamilton Radio. Guys, everyone and anyone who knows me knows I am the author of I'm Not an Addict, I'm Just an Ass. I'd rather be a smartass than a dumbass. Because, guys, 32 years ago, I was a dumbass. But 32 years later, through the grace of God, I can honestly say now I'm a smartass. Yes, the word ass is in the Bible at least 40 times, and it means donkey. And that's what I was. I'm saying all that to say this. You know, we've had the roughest few years of our lives all over the world, not just here. And unfortunately, a lot of people haven't made it, and most of them through addiction. I personally lost some family and friends through it. So I want everyone out there to know that I'm a recovery coach. I'm also a nutritional health coach. All my services to you are free. Everyone needs to know that they have someone they can talk to. And if you think that my book can help you, because I sure do, you can go to Simon & Schuster's newest division bookstore, Archway Publishing. It's on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, BAM. All proceeds go to help someone in addiction that truly wants to recover. Okay? And guys, if you truly, truly, truly cannot afford my book, please, please reach out to me about that as well. Please go to the Geri Petito Show YouTube channel and subscribe. We got some really cool things. A lot of my shows are there. And my website, www.geripetito.com. It has all my pages on there. You could even order the book from there. Guys, listen, I have an incredible, incredible show for you. I always bring it, right? I'm really bringing it now. I'm going to introduce first, okay, my incredible guest co-host, John Sorgente, baby.
Good afternoon, Geri. Thank you very, very much for having me. We are going to have quite a show today. I have two gentlemen that I want to introduce in a little while, but I'm going to begin by telling you a little bit about my background. I have been a mobile disc jockey for 43 years. I know I don't look that old, but I am. And it's been quite an experience and quite a ride. And up until about 10 years ago, I stepped into producing. So I produce a type of show that is of classic entertainment, stuff like Sinatra, stuff like Dean Martin, stuff like Jerry Lewis, stuff like Sammy Davis, that type of stuff. And I also do some sound engineering as well. So throughout my life, I've discovered that I'm really an artist instead of a disc jockey. I mean, I've not created my own music, but what I have created are playlists, and I am known for the way I arrange music in the proper order. So my life has taken me around the United States, and one of my biggest accomplishments was in the early 2000s. I used to produce the biggest bridal runway show in Manhattan at the Hotel Pierre, and I was approached by some designer who had hooked up with Disney, and they called it the Princess Wedding Collection. And they came to me and said, John, here's what the show is about. Here's the Disney princesses that the gowns are going to be modeled after, and we need you to come up with the music. And I said, okay. Lo and behold, it was about 3 weeks before the show, and no calls until the show. And I show up that day in Gotham Hall in Manhattan, and I'm just a little, questioning, like, I don't understand. Today is the show, and they haven't asked me what the music is.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, you're going to introduce the CEO of consumer products of Disney. Okay. About 4 o'clock, the show was at 7, I believe. They say, can we hear the music? Now, it's the day of. And I wasn't worried, because what I had done is I had matched the music to the personalities of the princesses.
Okay.
So, for example, Snow White it was all type of lounge music and Buddha bar music, but like Snow White was like an airy type of music, and I edited in birds chirping in the
that's
background.
cool.
So you were like outside with with Snow White. And Disney says to me during the show, "Oh, you did this?" I said, yeah. And then like the Little Mermaid, I put sounds of waves crashing, okay? And Belle was French music, and I forgot what the other princess, but another one was Latin music. So lo and behold, the show was an unbelievable success. I mean, it was tremendous. And then I did the after party. And then, that was an accomplishment. And from there on in, I got assigned to another woman who was probably one of the biggest designers in Japan.
Okay.
And I'm at the show, and my music is all ready. It was a 35-minute show. And they said, okay, you have to introduce her. And I think her name was, it was Yumi, I think it was Yumi Katsura. And she was internationally known. I mean, she's had gowns at the Academy Awards, et cetera, et cetera. And so I introduce her, and that day somebody shows me an article that somebody wrote, and they said, oh yeah, the MC introduced this designer as if you were in the Chicago Bulls arena. And I was like, what? Okay. It was no big deal to me, but I guess that's the
so
way
cool,
somebody
though.
perceived it. Yeah, I mean, it's all about perception. So here we are, fast forwarding, and now I'm producing these other type of shows, and we have some interest in the United States, but we're knocking on wood that we can possibly take this show to Europe or elsewhere other than that, because the show and the two guys that I'm about to introduce, I wouldn't call them impersonators.
They're not.
I wouldn't call them even tribute artists. These two gentlemen pay total honor and homage to the people they do. So, boys, I am their producer. I am somewhat their sound engineer. But I'm the biggest thing of all is I am their lion tamer. Okay,
Oh,
because
I like that.
they have to be roped in from time to time. Okay, that I can promise you, and it might even happen today. So boys, I will. There is a clock there. Can you, right there above the camera? Can you just try to keep it to 5 minutes so the show doesn't get out of control?
Per person.
Yeah, per person. So at this time, I'll introduce them as a team, and then they can proceed from there. We have the infamous Phil Solis as Dean Martin, and we have the infamous Angelo Capone as Jerry Lewis.
Can you guys tell which one?
So boys, the 5 minutes each is tell a little bit of your background and how you got where you got to the point of Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis, and then we'll have some...
You go first, I'm scared.
You go ahead, Jerry.
All right, my name is Angelo Capone. That's the real name, but I channel in because I don't like in person. Because I didn't even know who he was. I just did it. I was there at 9 years old, even a little earlier, and I was watching this guy, and he was doing all the things I'm doing because I really had something wrong with me, and he was playing somebody who had something wrong with him. And I was confused, but that was good because I found out I could use that as the part of the act. And from there I grew, and now, make it a long story because I got 3 minutes, I became this Jerry Lewis guy. And in the 70s, I rekindled that. Like, I went to Vegas and I was at the telethon when Dean walked on, and the whole week I did a whole Jerry thing. There's a story one day, I hope to get a book or a movie about it, of me being young and what happened that whole week. Because it's life, it's story, it's real. We need real, not reality, fake stuff. We need real good stories, and I hope to get that one day. And now, moving forward, 2015, I worked in New York City with the what was I? DOT department,
Yeah.
paving and doing all that for the streets, and I had enough because 30 years of that at my back and everything. And my wife Esther, the love of my life,
Love
said,
you.
"Why don't you go do Jerry?" I said, "How do I do that?" She says, "You'll figure it out." And that sparked me. So 2 years I was with some of the Rack Pack guys, Frank Frizzalone. I was with Robert Cabela and Gino Monroe, who just passed away, who was Sammy Davis. We had a 2-year tour. It was excellent in Florida. It was there, but I needed more. And we all went our own way, and I needed to learn a little bit more about myself with the Jerry, and I was doing well, and I was ready to go when COVID came in. So that brought us down from the mountain down to the valley. So what I did was I took advantage of it and started to video and started to make new characters. I said, this can't stop me. I'll just use this time while we're all down. So when the door swings open, I have other things to swing open with. And one of those things is this guy right here. That's your cue.
Oh. That's my cue?
That's your cue.
What am I supposed to do?
Tell what you feel and how you went and got there.
My story.
Your story. You
My
tell.
story. Well, my name is Phil Solis, and I started performing as Dean Martin for my mom, actually, because she is a big Dean Martin fan, and she always had Dean Martin playing on the radio and on the record player and on the TV with all his TV shows. And I started imitating Dean Martin for my mom, and she got a big kick out of it. And I guess I just got caught up in it, started doing it all the time, and ended up going on to the radio. I went on a show in Los Angeles called the Dr. Demento Show, and I did a big song there called The Ballad of the Rat. And some of you have heard of it, some of you haven't. But you can look it up on YouTube or whatever it is, and you can find it. It's a big hit. He played it many times. Hello, Dr. D, if you're watching this. And then from there, I went to college, worked in Hollywood many years, and then got back into the Dean Martin thing. Been doing it ever since, and I can't stop now. And so I met Angelo a couple years ago, and we got to talking, and we said, well, why don't we do a show together? I think that's Together Both?
Together Both.
Yeah. And so we came up with this idea, took it over to this guy named John Sorgente.
Right, he's over there.
Oh, hey, John, I didn't know you were here tonight.
Obviously, you weren't listening
I never do.
or paying attention.
And so we hooked up with him, and we ended up doing a show together. Been doing it ever since. I think how many years have we been doing this now?
Well, we really just started out,
No.
and we're doing pretty good with it. Matter of fact, we just did 2 days of a show at Applewood.
What's wrong with you? Applewood. Get the name
Applewood
right. He always
Performing Arts Center
gets
for
the
2
name
days.
wrong, and I have to correct him.
Well, that's why you're with me. You got to do this because
That's the only reason why.
you know
I'm
that
here.
I'm not half. I'm a half brain, so that's what it is. So you're my other brain. And we were successful. Matter of fact, we just came from the show. Here.
Is that where we're in tuxedos?
That's why we're in these tuxedos.
Wow.
We don't wear them because it's only for shows.
Yeah.
And we were happen to say we were very
Sorry,
successful.
Ruben. Didn't mean to yell into my microphone. Yeah, so we've been doing this. We're having a lot of fun. Everyone seems to like our show, and so we're going to keep doing it until they tell us to stop.
Right. But you tell me that every night. Stop.
Every minute. So that's it. That's our story.
That's the story.
You sticking to it?
We're sticking to it.
I'm stuck on something, I'll tell you that.
So, guys, all right, so I've gotten to know Angelo for many years now,
I'm so sorry.
and I'm now getting to know this guy,
Yeah.
and I've known this guy a little
Sorry
bit,
for you.
and I am a very big Jerry Lewis fan,
Well,
okay? And so when I first met Angelo, I'll never forget what he said to me, and I'm going to share it with you. He said his mom took him to the big screen, and here he sees the Nutty Professor, and he was a little kid, and he said, "Mom, why is that man making fun of me?" And I'll never forget that, because I want to share something with everybody. I always read a poem during my shows. I'm going to read it now instead of later, and there's a reason why. They referenced why they're doing what they're doing, okay? And in my words, I believe Jerry Lewis's character helped save Angelo, okay? So he became him. Like you were saying, they're not imitating, they're not, this is who they are now, and this is incredible. And every one of us has something to offer. And unfortunately, a lot of us don't look inside of ourselves to say, what is that gift we have? We all have one. So it's important now. I think I'm going to read this poem, guys. It's in my book. I wrote it. It's called Utilizing Gifts and Talents. We are born with talents. We are born with drive, with different gifts to help us thrive. I knew early on I was born to draw and paint, to also write poetry, and to talk without restraint. Our gifts and talents should all be used, God's gift to us, not be abused. We can go far in life for sure, using our gifts to go on tour like these guys. All our talents should be used to create ourselves and more, but then our job's to share them, to even up the score. You see, in life, what's needed is not just for ourselves. Once our gifts are mastered, take them off the shelves. A living we can make by spreading them around, but not just for the money, to spread a peaceful sound. Don't take for granted the gifts you're given. Go out and spread the joy. Our gifts are not to be held back for us to self-destroy. Put your efforts forth. Do not hesitate. All your talents, my friend, are never second-rate. Never hold them back or you will surely die. Maybe not in body, but your soul will cry. Our gifts were made to share, our talents made to soar. Go through life enlightened and you can roar. Be proud of who you are. Be happy you're alive. Once again, my friend, your gifts will help you thrive. By putting efforts forth, not keeping them at bay, guys, your name will live forever, forever and a day. Go through life excited for what you sure can give to yourself and others is our reason to live. Our grave will be quite lonely, but our legacy lives on. Make sure people smile with the breaking dawn. That's what you guys are doing. You're helping, making people so happy.
That was so beautiful.
But especially now, right? We need happiness in our lives here.
It's funny, you just, you talk about in that poem, gifts and talent. You're right. Every single person on this earth has a gift
Right.
given to them by God.
A little closer, baby.
And it's up to sometimes parents, sometimes teachers, sometimes friends to point out that they have this gift. Obviously, my gift was given to me as music. Okay, there's no way to explain it. My own children say to me, I don't understand. How do you know what song goes with what?
Yeah, that's so cool.
And I just look at them and say, because it was a gift.
Yeah.
It's a gift, and God gave me a gift to share with the world, and that's what I do.
You say that to your kids?
Absolutely.
And I never knew that. We never talked about
No,
this.
absolutely not.
Isn't that crazy?
It's so funny we talked about COVID.
Yes.
During COVID, I sat back and obviously employment was practically gone. And I said, okay, what are you going to do to get through this? And the first thing I said to myself was, okay, just sit down and watch TV and just mentally envelop yourself in not thinking about it. Just watch TV. They call it the idiot tube. That's what it was, the idiot tube to me, to bring my anxiety down and what am I going to do next. And then I sat there one day after it worked, and I said, okay, there's only one way you're going to survive, music.
See?
I sat down, and to this day, I now have 104 playlists on Spotify.
It's amazing.
Of every playlist was created by me.
That's amazing.
So, again, I can't explain it. I can't explain it. It's just, you gave me 50 songs on a table, I would know exactly what to put with what within 10, 15 minutes. It's so funny. Somebody told me, 1987, you're going to be sharing your music with the world, and nobody's going to know who you are, but they'll know it's your music. You're going to be sharing your music with people like Clive Davis.
I don't know.
I DJ'd for Clive Davis.
He
That's
DJ'd for
ridiculous.
5 days.
So, I mean, if you don't believe in fate and you don't believe in things like that, I've lived the life, believe me. I wouldn't be where I am if it wasn't where I was supposed to be.
What's Spotify, Dean? Is that a disease?
I think
What's-
it's
Guys.
I think it's one of Sinatra's songs.
Oh,
What you guys are
that's
doing
good. I like
What do we
that.
do?
is making
I didn't do
so many
anything.
people happy. Did you hear what he just said, right?
No,
Think
I
about
wasn't
that.
listening.
And you can't explain it.
Oh.
You can't. It's innate. Well, if you put a 6, 8-month-old baby in a bouncy, you put music on, what do? They start bouncing. You put you two clowns in front of adults like us, we crack up. What you're doing is brilliant and amazing and from your hearts, and that's why you're so good, because it's not an act.
No,
Not an
but
act.
understand, because my whole life is music and I've been in the business, I've been a DJ for 43 years. And what I've noticed and what I've realized from what I do alone, music touches everyone's life
Everyone.
Yeah.
in a different way.
Everyone.
If the world would allow music
Yes.
in, the world would be a completely different place.
And
You
on
know,
that note,
Yes.
as Angelo talking, that is Jerry.
Oh,
Jerry was the biggest music person in all Hollywood. Jerry was the only one who used music without singing a song. The typewriter I'm going to give you later is Count Basie. The cigar is Count Basie. Everything he did
was music.
was music. And here's the other channel. I started, as I told on your show, I was dyslexic and I was illiterate. And there I was at 7 years old, realizing, finding out from my uncle, told my father, this kid's the drummer in the family. We were all musicians. He's the drummer that we never had. I was playing drums, got a set at 8, and I've been playing drums. And there's the connection of me and Jerry, besides
It's amazing.
we sharing the character.
Yeah,
I'm all about music.
it's amazing.
That's why I could do that,
Right.
because it's just in me. The music's in me.
People, through the last few years, I go to all these events and I take my silly lives, I run around like a nut job. People have messaged me from hospital beds, I kid you not, saying, Jerry, thank you for that live, because one of them said I had the nurse hold the phone right so I could watch it. I mean, music saves lives.
Yeah.
Not
Absolutely.
just music, what you guys are doing as well.
Thank you.
So, you know what? Why don't you start the
set
show?
it up. Okay, set it up.
The one thing we are going to do is, guys, we're not going to play my theme song at the end. We have a special thing we're going to close with today, but why don't you set this up?
Okay. Well, as Angelo had said, we just performed at Applewood Senior Living Center yesterday and today. Today was more of a marketing situation where future people that wanted to live there came in, but yesterday was the residents. And again, how we know we're on the right path is when a 103-year-old person can come up to Angelo yesterday and basically just explain to him that he brought her back to all the memories that she had, and remembers there was one woman that saw Dean Martin live in I think she said 62 or something.
52.
1952, okay? And our show is designed around the early Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis from the 50s, from the Colgate Hour. But when you have gifts, the object is to share them. And when these two gentlemen take the stage and I'm watching the show, because they're not watching the show, they're performing. When I'm watching the show, I'm looking at how they affect people. And again, that's why I say they're not imitating Martin and Lewis. They're channeling these two entertainers through them,
I believe it.
and they're touching the people in front of them, whether they're 50, whether they're 70, whether they're 103. And that's what I do every day of my life. When I'm doing parties, it's not only about people dancing. You know how many, my biggest compliments as a DJ is when a guy can walk up to me at an event and say to me, I just want to tell you something. I cannot even tell you how I enjoyed today because my wife and I were able to converse at our table. Because the average DJ, I've been a DJ for 43 years and beyond, when somebody hears disc jockey, they hear boom, 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 boom. That's not what music is. Because whether you're 15 or you're 75, being deaf and not being able to talk at a table is not enjoyable. And so that's another thing. When I do their sound, they're crystal clear. There's no distortion. There's no levels where the music is too loud and you can't hear their voice. But that's part of the whole ensemble. It's to make it appear right, but it's to make it sound right. I learned a long time ago, presentation is what it's all about. Because the way you present something is the way it's going to be received.
That's right.
And I'd like to say
Right.
something too. You know, I want to make it clear to the audience that I am not Dean Martin. I wish I was Dean Martin because I'd be living in a big estate in Beverly Hills. But nobody I know, and I know a lot of the guys that do the tribute to Dean, and I just do what's kind of natural for me. I go out on stage and I do my songs. I took many, many years of singing lessons, and you know, like I said, since I was a kid, I've been watching Dean Martin, so it just kind of got integrated into who I am, but I would not say ever that I'm Dean Martin.
Okay.
There nobody could be like
Martin.
Dean. He was an amazing, amazing performer, entertainer, and as he said, he was a personality. And no one could touch that. I don't even attempt to. So I would not call myself a Dean Martin, you know, I'm not a Dean Martin person. What I do like doing is performing like Dean did and singing his songs and bringing happiness to people. And like John just said, taking people back in time
That's right.
to an era when they could enjoy that kind of comedy and singing, crooning, as somebody said today. Yeah.
You know, it's so ironic because one of the missions of our show, and I introduced the show as classic entertainment, and I said today, in fact, that one of the things about classic entertainment that existed, and you can go back and see any video you want or any concert you want, three things that are missing from our society today that were engulfed deeply in classic entertainment through the performers, and that's respect, morals, and values. And you know what? What I like about what they do is we're not trying to connect Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis to our audience. We want them to like Phil Solis and Angelo Capone. That's what it's about.
That's what it's about.
Well, I was just telling Phil, me doing Jerry, and not doing it long, the whole thing with Jerry and Dean they were performing to each other.
Yeah.
And a lot of tribute acts are just performing. Some of them don't even know what they're performing to. But Dean and Jerry liked each other.
Yeah.
And they knew they had something that nobody had. As I'm doing this with Phil, I see that it's easy. And that's when I watched Dean and Jerry. It was easy. And their attitude was, because it's so easy, they didn't care what everybody thought out there. When Dean said his famous line, "How did everybody get in my room?" That was the key to Dean's life. I am the same in that room, in my house. I'm the same on this stage. And that always stayed with me because Jerry learned that from Dean. And Jerry always tried to keep that attitude. And how he did it was the MDA. He was who he was at the MDA. And when he did his comedy, he stepped into the old Martin Lewis little boy at 9 years old. So Phil is talking about not being like Dean. I was never Jerry Lewis. Me and Jerry are two opposites. Jerry was a brilliant, brilliant man. He invented the play machine. He could do from anything to anything. When he got to do that little boy, it was Dean that made him understand, be the little boy. I'll take you through. I'll lead you in. I'll lead you out. Be created in that little boy. What that did for me was, I was that little boy.
Right.
So I didn't do Jerry Lewis. I never look at Jerry Lewis, the man. I really didn't even think about Jerry Lewis, the man. It was always the 9-year-old kid.
It was actually Jerry Lewis doing you.
Well,
That's how I see it.
I sometimes I don't like saying it because I don't want people thinking
No, but
in the wrong.
But that's the
thing
irony of the whole story.
it's the irony of it.
Of the whole story.
I never want them, but he had created.
Yes.
I didn't create it. I have never rehearsed a day in my life of doing Jerry. Why? Because that boy, he was doing me.
I know. I agree.
And if I had, and the proof of that is if I ever had to do Jerry Lewis the man, goodbye. I could never touch him because
I love
the guy
it.
was brilliant. Watch his interviews as a man. You would never think that 9-year-old character.
Right.
You're thinking Jerry Lewis the man. But when you talk to me and you see who I am, you could see, someone told me, you could see that 9-year-old
Right.
in you.
I agree.
And Jerry, no, he has to put it on. So that always gave me, what I'm getting to, the road to keep going.
Right.
Because as we as people, we always want to feel like we own something. Growing up dyslexic and illiterate, you don't own anything because you're such in a confused state of mind. And I never owned anything. Even as a drummer, I always grew up, why can't I be this next level in the drummer? It was of my own. That drumming was to start my salvation. That, hey, I got something. Gave me concentration. It gave me a reason to put all this in me and say, I could do it. But there I was like, wow, I wish I could do more. I wish I could read music. I could. Then in the back door was Jerry. Yeah, like the good Lord was saying, I gave you this to start you, but this is what you're really going to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
But the mind blower, let me finish. I didn't do it until years later.
yeah,
But
but
you know what it told me? It's never too late.
It's never too late.
no, but what you didn't realize back then that you do now, going right back to her home, you can't teach somebody how to play drums.
That's right.
That's a gift.
It is.
And so the music was given to you
Yep.
on purpose. You decided to take that and make something of it. And then one day you connected with the Jerry Lewis characters, because that's what he connects with.
right.
He doesn't connect with Jerry Lewis.
No.
He connects with Jerry Lewis
That's
characters.
right. That's right.
But it goes back to he was given a gift.
That's right.
End of story.
We're all given a gift.
100%.
And just to end with that, I can say for the first time, this guy gets what I'm doing. And that's what
And
I
he
needed.
told Phil, he told me that. He called me and he said, "You're going to love this because Phil gets me." And that's the truth. He said that to me.
Yeah.
But you know, what they're saying is, somebody out there needs to hear this, okay? We all have gifts, every one of us, right? We've been talking about that. Please figure out what gift you have and use it. Please do that, okay, for yourself, and then share it, because you're right.
Yeah, but the most important thing about that is, you know, people talk about mentors, listen, everyone in their life comes across someone that connects.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter who it is. Sometimes it's parents, sometimes it's teachers, sometimes it's coaches, sometimes it's friends. What Jerry is saying is somebody in your life connected with you, and that's the person you need to go back to. Find that person. If they've disappeared from your life, but you understand what we're talking about, that's the person you have to find. Because I learned a long time ago, I was a substitute teacher for 20 years in junior high school. And I used to tell junior high school girls, someone that cares about you cannot hurt you. They will never hurt you. Physically, verbally, whatever. Anybody that rubs you the wrong way, or anybody that says anything to you or does anything to you that doesn't make you feel comfortable, is not somebody that cares about you. People that care about you, okay? And you'll know it.
You were a teacher?
Yes, substitute teacher.
Okay, one last little story, and we're going to start the show. You're going to love this, okay? I just got a message this week from my 7th and 8th grade art teacher. Now, years ago, when we were doing our shows, we were able to be live on Facebook, and people could call in and text, and we were live and we could see it. Okay, I'm doing a show, 2016, and someone says, Jerry, do you remember Bill Gray? And live on air, I'm reading, and I said, Mr. Gray, my art teacher from 7th, and he said, yes, that's me. That is the reason why I went to art school. That man right there, okay, he was the one that said, you're an incredible artist, you're an incredible writer, never stop, Jerry, never stop. He's in my life now. We got to connect, we got to talk, see each other. I mean, think about this.
Yeah.
And it was all because of a teacher.
Now, to just give you a little touch of what you just said. Here I am, a boy, dyslexic, literate, fighting my way through school. First of all, it's by the grace of God I graduated.
Okay?
Fighting my way. And there was a man, Mr. Alperin, an English teacher. He went to the dean and whoever he had to talk to and said, listen to me. Could I have my own class for the people who are weak in learning English, math, and let me take those students on? I was the first one he picked.
There you go.
And we had our own class. And he helped me get through how to read, how to feel confident, how to feel like I was worthy and not hide. So Mr. Alperin was my guy. I could see him as clear as day. This was and this is now 9th grade. This ain't 6, 7, 8 where my therapy was like, oh my God, how am I doing this? You realize me sitting in a classroom and a teacher would say, well, all right, we're going to do reading. And when it comes to your verse, reading, you know how I was sitting there panicking, trying to get to my verse? And I had to read it in the class and many times stumbled. And I said, and she would try to help me in front of everybody, which was not easy because everybody's looking at me like, oh, this guy can't read. But I had to do it because I can't rebel, right? I guess this guy must have went and seen all this.
Of course he did.
No.
So I went, and he came to us and said, I'm going to take you into a class, I'm going to teach you. But in the meantime, while you're in the class, this is what I want you to do. Tell the teacher you want to speak it. Because everybody could speak. And that's what made me realize. I figured some of the things and then added what, even though it wasn't there, I would add to the story. And I got up and spoke it.
But understand
And
something.
brought me to that
That
level.
man was put in your life on
That's
purpose.
right.
Well, that's just
Yeah.
what I was going to
That's
say,
right.
you know, and getting back to what you said about Mr. Gray.
Yes.
I don't think there are any coincidences.
No, I don't believe in coincidence either.
I really do believe, and I don't know if there's anybody who needs to hear this,
There is.
God exists.
Amen.
The Creator, call, the universe, whatever, Allah, whatever speaks to your heart. I cannot more sincerely say that God exists. And there are no coincidences. God is active in your life.
But you know what's funny? With all the stuff going on in this country right now, especially all the stuff with the police and et cetera, I can say the same thing about what you just said. The ideology is if you hate cops or you don't respect cops or you want this and that, the first person you call when you're in trouble
Is a
are the
cop.
cops.
And he was
Well,
given by God in that
And it
position.
goes back to what Phil just said. Those people that don't believe and God didn't do this and it's science or whatever, anything goes wrong catastrophically in their life, the first person they turn to is God.
That's right. Or they blame God, but
Right.
they don't
They
believe
blame
in
God,
God.
that's
So they
right.
either blame God or
Right.
turn to God.
That's right.
I was woken up, true story, my mouth to God's ears. I was woken up in the middle of the night. I always say God can't whisper to me. He has to really, and he can't. I felt like boom, boom, boom. I opened my eyes and I heard, write your book. I giggled and I said, okay, God, I'll write my book.
Huh.
What? Is something wrong? Ruben is being silly over there.
He's pointing at his ear.
Okay? Ruben is being silly. Our producer, he's a nut job, okay? So anyway, I wrote my book, and I'm gonna share something. It only took 3 weeks. No one knew in my family I was writing my book. I fast every year for a month, so I stayed in. They thought I was just fasting. God wrote the book. I tell everybody that because there is no way God did not write this book.
Amen.
So God is good. God is real.
Yes.
So how about we give it to God today, and how about we start the show?
That sounds good
All right.
to me.
It's about time.
All right, so listen, up to now, we hope you've enjoyed all the information we've given you. But now the surprise is you're going to hear Phil and Angelo perform for you. So, gentlemen, you can take your positions. I'll set it up as you're doing that.
Position.
We're going to do 3 songs that Martin and Lewis did together, and they're going to do it their way. And then the last is the treat, and that will be closing the show. So, first is something Phil and
I'm a little scared.
Where are
Angelo came up with.
that you?
When I say came up with, there's the song and the lyrics,
You.
and then they just fly by the seat of their
What the hell is
pants
he
and
talking about?
do whatever. So the first song is a very famous Dean Martin song, and Standing on the Corner. Here we go.
Oh, standing on the corner.
Yeah.
All right.
You want to learn how to?
Oh, I'm sorry. Wait, I made a mistake.
Oh,
I'm
what?
sorry, Ruben. The first song is one of the most famous Dean Martin songs, and it's so true. You're nobody till somebody loves you.
Heck yeah,
Oh,
baby.
I always want to be loved, so let's put love in
You
this song.
wanna be somebody?
I want to be somebody.
Hit it, maestro.
That's his name?
Maestro. Are you ready?
Yeah, yeah.
Here we go. You're nobody till somebody loves you.
I want to be loved.
You're nobody till somebody cares. You may be king, you may possess the world and its gold, but gold won't bring you happiness when you're growing old.
The world that will change. You can't change that.
Something like that.
As sure
Yeah.
as the stars shine above. You're nobody till somebody loves you. So find yourself somebody to love. So you dating?
Not lately. How about you?
No, I'm afraid I don't know nothing about girls. They're not with me.
Hey, Jerry, I got a question for you. You know the difference between fooling around and camping? No? You want to go camping?
I like to go camping.
Yeah,
And
I
I
don't
come?
care.
No, you don't want me. I don't think you want me.
Hey, didn't you have a question about the difference between somebody that's married 45 years?
Yeah, what's the difference between a wife and a girlfriend?
I don't know.
45 pounds. How about a boyfriend and a husband?
Changes.
As sure as the stars shine above. You're nobody till somebody loves you. So find yourself somebody to love. Oh, I'm so
You want
lost.
to find somebody to love?
Yeah, you working?
No, not me.
All right. What do I
Hey.
do now?
Well, I'll tell you what. You were telling me the other day that you were having a problem with the dating world.
Yeah, I can't play girls.
Is that right?
Me and girls, we don't connect.
Yeah, well, I'm going to tell you something. It's not too easy nowadays. What with that Match.com and Twitter and what's that one where you swipe?
Yeah, I don't know.
Something like that.
Twiggy and all them, I can't figure that out.
Only time I swipe is when I'm in the bathroom.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
I just did.
All right, hold on.
Oh, I wouldn't put that
thank
up
you.
to my nose.
Well, anyway, I figure we could do maybe a song you could teach me about girls.
I could do that. You want me to tell you about standing on the corner?
And what, picking up girls?
Picking up girls.
Oh my, yeah,
Yeah.
I
why don't
like
tell
to
you?
find out.
We need to find a girl though, and since Jerry doesn't want to come up here, why don't we use this here skeleton?
Pretend
Yeah, that's your girl.
she needs a dinner, I think.
Anytime you're ready, maestro.
There's something with.
Yeah.
I love your teeth. She got nice teeth.
She's
You
a
didn't know
little
about
on
the rest of the
thin
body.
side. Here you go, pal.
All right.
Tell you.
Hold my hand.
Oh. Standing on the corner, watching all the girls go by.
I think I can get the light here.
Standing on the corner, watching all the girls go by.
So we're gonna stand on a corner.
Brother, you don't know a nicer occupation.
It's a job.
Matter of fact, neither do I. Then standing on the corner, watching all the girls, watching all the girls, watching all the girls go by.
Tell me how this works.
I gotta tell you, I'm the cat who got the cream. Haven't got a girl.
I don't have one.
But I can dream.
That's all I do is dream.
Haven't got a girl.
I want one.
But I can wish. So take me down to Main Street.
What kind of girls are we picking up?
That's where I select my imaginary day. You know why? Standing on the corner, watching all the girls go by.
I like this. I think I'll get the hang of it.
Standing on the corner, giving all the girls the eye. Brother, if you got a rich imagination,
That's all I have is an imagination.
give it a whirl. Give it a try.
Here's my imagination.
Try standing on the corner, watching all the girls, watching all the girls, watching all the girls go by.
You know what?
Yeah.
I'm falling in love with this.
Well, let me tell you something about handling a girl, okay?
Yeah.
You gotta be very gentle. Let's take Bernice here.
Bernice.
Now, you
I
go
like
in and you take her out on a date. The first thing you want to do is hold Bernice's hand.
Hold her hand.
Hold her hand. Not like that.
Oh,
Like this, very gentle. Brother, you can't go to jail for what you're thinking.
I'm always thinking.
Or for that ooh look in your eye. Standing on the corner, watching all the girls, watching all the girls, watching all the girls go by.
I think I could do this. But the only problem is I'm in love with Bernice now. She don't talk much. That's what I want. I don't want a crazy wife. You know what I mean?
I hear ya.
All right.
All right, Pally. Well, you know, Jer, we've been on the road quite a bit. And I think we ought to do a little song together that goes back to the time we were in the movies. Remember that?
Yeah, there was a movie called Scared Stiff, and you made $1 million hit. People don't realize I was in that movie with them.
You were in that movie?
Yeah, I was in that movie.
What did you do in that movie?
I did in the end, when you sang the song, I came in the end. So what we did for the people is that I'm in the beginning with you now with it.
Oh, so we sang together both?
Together both, that's
And
why.
what was the name of that
It's
song?
a very popular song, That's Amore.
That's Amore? Maybe Ruben is going to cue it up for us. And
All
we can
right.
do it together.
All right,
Both.
let's do that.
Eventually. Anytime you're ready, Ruben.
Oh.
He's going to play the intro.
He's going to do the intro.
Yeah.
What's an intro?
I have no
I don't
idea.
know either.
Ruben's going to let us know what the intro is. What the hell is he
Okay,
doing
I know,
down
he's on the
Why is he
floor
on
now.
the floor?
That's all right.
What are you doing down there?
He's a snake.
Ready?
Oh, what are we on, a cruise?
The moon hits your eye like a big piece of pie. That's amore.
That's Amore?
Yeah. When the world seems to shine like you've had too much wine, that's amore.
You know about wine.
Bells will ring, ting-a-ling-a-ling, ting-a-ling-a-ling, and you'll sing Viva Bella. You know, I think I forgot my underwear.
Uh-oh.
Yep.
I don't have, you have a pair here. If you still kiss your girl after garlic and Earl, that's amore.
Yeah, that's amore.
If you call her your pet, though she shake like spaghetti, that's amore.
That's amore.
Oh, I'm getting it now.
When you walk down the street with a cloud at your feet, signore, do me a favor, sing some song, and then we'll both together sing that's amore.
Amore.
Ready?
Everybody.
Big finish. The moon hits your eye
Like a big pizza pie, that's amore. That's amore.
When you dance down the street with a cloud at your feet, you're in love.
You're in love.
When it'll ring, ding-a-ling-a-ling, ding-a-ling-a-ling.
I feel like I can go.
Oh, I think you did.
Hearts of play, tippy-tippy-tay, tippy-tippy-tay, like a gay calendella.
Lucky fella.
He's a fella.
When the moon hits your eye like a big pizza pie, that's amore. When you dance down the street with a cloud at your feet, you're in love.
I'm in love.
When you walk in a dream,
Oh, you sing that so beautiful.
but you know you're not dreaming, signore. What am I shouting about? I got the job.
See back in
Old
old
Napoli,
Napoli,
that's amore.
Signore.
That's amore.
That was
Well-
our hit in the movie 1953, Scared Stiff.
Yeah, that's right. Now, why don't you do something on your
Can I
own?
give you a little Jerry thing, the old typewriter routine? Because that's one of Jerry's thing I like to do for you now, if it's okay. I don't know when I'm looking at who I'm talking to, but just give me a, I see it.
Oh,
Okay,
no,
good.
no.
No, we're not doing that?
No, you know what you want to do?
What?
You want to do your cigar routine. Your
I don't-
cigar routine.
I don't have, I'm doing the typewriter cigar. I'm doing the typewriter.
But hold on. Are we ready to do the typewriter?
Whatever you want to do, what are we doing?
So then why don't we do this? Come sit back down.
Okay,
All right,
you want to save it.
I want to save it.
Oh. Hey, we did that together.
Yeah, we did.
Okay.
Both.
All right.
So guys, we still have a few minutes left of the show. Before we give you that surprise at the end, is there anything you would like to share with everyone to promote whatever it is, websites, whatever you want to say? You have the mic, darling.
Okay, well, what we have created because of Martin and Lewis is you can find us on Instagram. I believe it's Martin and Lewis together both, but just type in Martin and Lewis and it should come up. You can find us on Facebook as well. Our website is www.martinandlewistogetherboth.com, and you can email us if you'd like, if you're interested in finding out where we're going to be next or you'd like to see us. That is martinandlewis39@gmail.com.
Or if you want to book us, go to that website. Yeah.
Right.
So wait, we're going to get to these two guys.
What's the
okay?
phone number they can call? Is there a phone
So-
number?
Yeah, I remember it.
What is it?
It's 866-913-8987.
5742.
No,
No, no.
he
That's not
happens
it.
to be he happens to be correct.
I was right.
He
And
got
I'm
it right?
dyslexic.
He got
He
it right.
got it right?
He got it right.
I just
Tell
wanna thank
them
you
the
for
number.
one-
Wait, tell them the number one more time.
It's 866-913-8987.
That's perfect.
Excellent.
What else would you like to say to everybody out there listening?
in TV land?
Well, you're watching us, I believe, on either Facebook or YouTube. Understand, Geri sits here week after week, day after day, and she talks about her past, and she talks about all the things that she does.
Oh.
But with all the stuff that we hear and see every day,
Yeah.
this is genuine stuff.
Really is.
Okay, and
From the heart.
you can't make it up, and obviously what's flowing through this woman now is the gift that God gave her. So he saved you, and the gift he gave you, you're making the best of. So God bless you.
Thank you for that. God
That's why she's my
definitely
friend,
saved
you
me.
know.
And thank you,
Thank you.
Geri.
Thank you for having us.
So I want you to look into the camera. You guys have a lot of fans out there, okay? Martin and Lewis, let me just say this to you. Not just Martin and Lewis, but Phil and Angelo, all right? You guys have a lot of fans out there. So I want you to give some words of encouragement. We'll start with you, Phil.
Yeah.
Say whatever it is you'd like to say to them. Give them some encouragement, and then we'll go to Angelo.
Oh, that's a good question. So, I think as a person trying to be in the entertainment industry or any industry, you got to just persevere. I was told that by one of my acting coaches many years ago. It doesn't matter how many times you try and you're not successful. What makes you successful is perseverance. And that's what made me successful in what I'm doing now. And that's what made everybody I know that is successful is the perseverance factor, is just keep going. You got to keep going. Even when it seems like there's no way you're going to succeed, there's no way it's ever going to happen, keep going and just persevere.
Beautiful.
I don't know if I can continue.
Would you please? Are you feeling verklempt?
Yeah, I have her. Here's my thing. You know that old saying, if I could do it, anybody could do it? Well, that's true with me. Because I had nothing. All I had was this, like that skeleton. It was me, myself, and I had to renew my mind. Sometimes you feel like you're alone. Until you renew your mind and understand that you were brought here alone. You were meant to be alone to keep going. Because there might be people don't get what you have or don't understand what you're doing. The only best person is yourself. You have to know what you want to do. You have to believe in what you're doing. And knowing that, hey, if I don't get there, I'm going to have fun and the journey's going to be good anyway. And the surprise is you might get what you want. And 95% of the time, if you stay on that road, you will. Because I'm a living proof. I'm happy with what I
beautiful.
do. I always find a way because there's always a way. Always a way. By the grace of God, there's always a way.
Absolutely.
And that's it.
That's
Amen.
beautiful.
I got to say, Geri, is it hot in here or is it my imagination?
It's very,
So
it's
pretty
hot.
hot.
Oh, I didn't know.
Oh, Geri, I'm sorry. I forgot to give you those back.
I don't know.
She was knocking at my door for 45 minutes last
But I don't
night.
know who these are. Is these yours?
Those are Rubens.
Oh, these are Rubens. I'm very sorry you found someone. But we just want to thank you from Dean and Geri and what we gave today as a little performance and our little speech. And their underwear being flying around, and I like it. I like it. I like it.
All right,
And
now,
this guy, this guy, I got to say something else about this guy because pink and purple are my favorite colors, and I love a guy in a pink suit. Look at him. Come on, look at him.
Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you for wearing that.
Thank
Mr.
you.
Pink.
Listen, I think I'm going to confer with Ruben, but Ruben, I think it's my mistake. You don't have the typewriter on the USB. Oh, he's getting it. Oh, okay,
Ruben's
good.
gonna get it.
I think that was my screw up. I think I put the cigar
Ooh,
on
I
there.
love a man that can admit
I think
that
I
they
put
were
the cigar
wrong.
on
I
there.
screwed up on the cigar, and you did.
Yeah,
All right,
well,
this-
listen.
See how we're meant to be?
All
Yeah,
right.
see,
Well,
John?
see,
he
Ruben,
didn't screw up. You did.
No,
Ruben,
On the show
Ruben is
today.
making
gonna
his
read
magic.
another
You
poem
screwed
then.
up. You owe me $10.
Yeah.
I'm going to read another poem then since we have to.
What are we going to read?
But I want to say this ends my music poem. I'm not going to read that one, but music is a must for you to keep your joy,
Absolutely.
especially if it's Elvis, baby, because Elvis is my
Thank you,
boy.
thank you.
And listen, while she's preparing for that,
I'll have
I will
the
tell you,
blues
go to Spotify, look up John P. Sorgente, Sorgente, and you'll see all of my 104 playlists, and you'll enjoy every one of them.
I'll feel
Beautiful.
so blue.
Do it, baby.
Thinking about you.
How did we segue into Elvis?
So I'm going to read Choose Wisely. Okay?
Choose
wisely, because, guys,
Yeah.
we all have choices. We all have free will. Okay? Choose wisely. A
Indeed.
healthy outlook begins with you. A life fulfilled is up to you, too. A healthy diet is where you start, but a healthy mind is the major part. Remove from your diet all sugar, my friend. All processed foods kill in the end. Try being vegan or at least mostly greens. Veggies will heal even unhealthy genes. To get rid of toxins, niacin's the key. It'll remove even cravings. Flushing out needs to be. Sugar is a drug your brain thinks it is. To get you real clean, go take my quiz. The real way to detox is not with a drug. It's through nutrition and also a hug. Your brain sure can heal, I promise you this. If you do a cleanse, the drug you won't miss. Nutrition's the key. Do not be fooled. What they're teaching must be overruled. You're in charge of life choices you make. Keep them healthy is your journey to take. Life is made of choices. We all must pick and choose. We need to be real careful when breaking all the rules. I'm not saying be boring or never have fun, but try to keep a balance with the things you have done. Too much of anything may hurt you in the end. Try to maintain balance so not to lose a friend. Even the people with time you do spend, choose your friends wisely or you may lose in the end. The choices I made from when I was young have surely changed. My thoughts have now swung. So know your worth. Say it starts with me. You are the treasure and you own the key. You understand that, guys?
Yeah, absolutely.
You understand that?
And you know, to that point, I just want to say I am 4 weeks processed sugar free.
Wait, for real?
Yeah, for real.
Amazing.
Yeah, I decided in January 1st, I said, you know what? I'm giving up, because I started reading about it, and processed sugar is one of the worst things in the world.
So
The
now,
worst.
it's not only processed sugar, guys, okay? It's high fructose corn syrup. When I
Yes.
was in my 20s,
Yes.
I'll share this interesting
True.
little story. I started my nutritional journey in my 20s. I traveled all over the world, even Russia in the 80s, through Lenox Hill Hospital. And I had machine guns pointed at me there and in China, guys. And I found out then, they brought McDonald's to Asia when we got there. So I was in my 20s, and they only brought it there like that month. So of course all the Americans were like, we got to go check out McDonald's, right? My cousin gets a soda, takes a sip, and spits it out. And she's like, this is bad. So I taste, I'm like, and I don't drink soda, never did, but I was like, oh. And they were laughing at us, and they said, if any companies here, Coca-Cola, McDonald's, guys, Starbucks, any of them, big companies want to go to any of these countries, they have to change the formulas. They don't allow what we do. In every single can of Coca-Cola here, 9 1/4 teaspoons of now high fructose corn syrup is in every one of them to get you addicted.
Yep.
If you go to Asia, 1 teaspoon in each can of real sugar. That's the difference.
That's amazing.
So just
That is
check it out.
amazing.
Read
That's
labels,
amazing.
guys.
I have something. 5 weeks. I have my prostate is full. I just want.
Are
I
we
want to
ready?
get that.
Yes, we are ready.
Is
All right,
that what's
guys.
down there?
Now listen, I want to thank everyone for listening to all of our nonsense, right? And I want to thank everybody for viewing this. Please share this. This is how we're going to close today with this incredible treat. Guys, the typewriter by this guy right here. Let's do it. Now you
Go
can
ahead,
go
Now I
there
go.
and move the chair. You know where to move it.
All right,
Come on,
excuse
baby.
me, I have to do this. I don't want to get in your way. But I figure. Can I just tell?
Tell them what you want to tell them.
All right, this is the typewriter that Jerry did in, I believe it was Who's Mine in the Mint. And when I first seen this, it was, I first did it on the drums. So when you're hearing that, I did it on the drums. And I just took the sticks away and just did it.
Hold
so
on
that's
one
how,
second, guys. Ruben, I don't see the screen changed. Hold on, guys.
Uh-oh.
We gotta
Hold on
again.
another second.
You can talk, but just don't do it yet.
Improvise.
All right,
He's
you can
telling me,
hear him.
Jerry, improvise.
You can hear him, so you can still tell them.
Thanks, Gene. Well, here I am. Like I said, I first did the typewriter. I came home from the movie, and I was on my drums, and I heard it, because drummers always hear, like my wife is always saying, stop playing the drums on the tape. We're always hearing. So I took the hearing and played it on the drums. I would have sworn I just heard something. Did I just hear something? Okay,
That was me.
Hey, let's go.
The screen. The screen.
The screen.
We don't see him.
Where is he?
All right. Well, right.
What the hell?
Little
There
tech
we go.
difficulty,
There we
guys.
go. Where am I over here?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
See?
Okay. This is what I usually say at every show. Maestro, which is Mr. Subjective. Oh, you're really playing the beginning here. I didn't know. I have nothing on my head. That's how I ended it.
Amazing. Thank you, everybody. That's a wrap.
That's a wrap.
That's a wrap.
I can go pee now?